right, welcome back to episode 16 of the Hops and Bops podcast. I am producer Tom.
I'm Joe.
And I am Mike.
And today we've got a couple good ones for you. We've got Stubborn Beauty's own 𝙈𝙤𝙢𝙢𝙮. It's an Imperial IPA. And the album we've paired that with is Music to be Murdered by Eminem, his 2020 release.
I love this album.
So,
Can't wait. Love this beer.
Let's do it.
Crack
don't
them
waste
open.
any more time. Crack them open again.
Ooh, messy open.
A little bit. It's okay. What kind of glasses you guys got?
I got it's a pint glass, but then there's like an insert and it looks like a bottle, like upside down in it. That was kind of cool.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, I went with the snifter. I know double IPAs usually only get 12-ounce pours. Even though it's a 16-ounce can, they usually only get 12-ounce pours because of the alcohol content. And you get a better smell out of the snifter glass. Hence the name. Snifter.
It's very clever, Mike. I went with the Incredible Hulk because why not?
It's citrusy.
But it's a little worn, so it just looks like the Incredible Hull.
Yeah, I just gotta say, all around, this might be the 3 best pours we've ever had.
Yes.
Like,
I was
someone's
just
gotta
gonna
take
say-
a picture. Take a picture of this. This is like just.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah.
So.
Good pours.
That's definitely Instagram worthy.
Oh, and the tier
gotta
with
put-
the glasses, the
we gotta put
can.
this here, too.
This is just. So I got mine's Ballast Point. I don't know if I've ever even had a Ballast Point beer. This was one of the bar raffles I won.
The infamous, unnamed, very unassuming bar raffle.
Bar raffle. Where I get most of my glasses.
They have so many of them here.
Although you two are both using glasses that I did purchase.
You purchased. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Wait.
Hold on.
Hold on.
This is a plastic. You purchased a plastic glass.
I think I got it at like Job Lot because it looked cool.
Right.
Yeah.
But knowing you,
Yeah. Not
you and I,
Yeah.
long-standing relationship, right? We've been through a lot.
We have.
You purchased this, however, you won all your other glasses
yes.
at bar raffles.
Yes.
But you purchased this one.
I did.
What a saint!
Yeah, I am.
What a saint!
Even the Hulk one. That came in a 4-pack.
That I get. That
Hulk,
understand.
Iron Man,
Yeah.
Spider-Man, and Thor.
Well, probably like a Marvel release.
It was.
Or a
And then the
license,
Iron
yeah.
Man one broke, so I went on eBay and I bought another one because it really bothered me.
All right. Shall we get into the beer?
Yeah.
That's what we do here.
It's in the name.
It is the hops part.
Very
Okay.
citrusy.
So we have 𝙈𝙤𝙢𝙢𝙢 from Stubborn Beauty. They're out of Middletown, Connecticut. 𝙈𝙤𝙢𝙢𝙢 is coming in at 8.1%.
Jesus.
It's an Imperial IPA, which I think is just another name for a double IPA.
I actually looked that up.
Mike,
Joe,
you looked
and
into that a little more.
Yes, Imperial IPA and a double IPA are interchangeable.
Yes. So another double IPA. We've done one last year from Nebco. This is theirs. I love this beer. So, little behind the scenes, I originally wanted to choose their single IPA, Happy Trees, for this episode. Couldn't find it in the stores, but then I saw 𝙈𝙢𝙢𝙢𝙢. I've known it, but I've never had it before. So I was like, let's bring a beer that I personally have never had. And I'm glad I did because I love this beer. It's so good.
Wow.
So their tagline on the website says, "Our signature big IPA, hop-forward aroma with citrus, grapefruit, and in your face juicy hop flavor that gets more complex as the beer warms." So I thought that was interesting. So as the episode kind of rolls on, we'll see how it tastes as it gets warmer.
Nice.
And then on the can, they have some pretty cool things. It says, "Your taste buds have a new best bud."
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I agree with that. This is a very, very tasty beer. Good darker color, a little amberish.
It's not overpowering.
No.
Like, it doesn't have a super boozy taste or anything to it. It's pretty smooth.
Especially for a double.
Yeah, you have that citrus flavor. Like I said, I've actually bought a 4-pack of this, not realizing it was a double, and then went and played 18 holes, and I drank the entire 4-pack playing 18 holes because it was so smooth and so good.
Yeah.
Probably not the best round I've ever played, but,
Yeah, how'd you do on that back half?
I thought I did great.
Lost a few balls.
But
It's tasty.
They have an
is.
interesting brewery. I don't know if you've been.
I have been.
It's kind of rustic, I guess is the word.
Yep.
It's kind of in like the northern end of Middletown, kind of off the beaten path, I guess is the word for it, to put it nicely.
Yeah.
It's not in the greatest area,
No.
but it's interesting because they're connected to multiple other breweries and a cider place.
Yeah.
So there's some.
It's definitely a smaller brewery. It's more like a tap room, you know.
Yeah.
But they put out some really great beers. So, yeah, 𝙈𝙤𝙢𝙢𝙢𝙢𝙢 Nummy. I love the name too. It's fun to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nummy.
Well, they have some interesting names. Nummy Nummy, Happy Trees. Like they're kind of just very different out there names.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Beauty is in the mouth of the beholder. I like that. That's also on the can.
The can is cool too. It's just like a white can with the red kind of flower logo.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of like tasting like profile things on there like most beers do. It just kind of lets it speak for itself.
I also tried to research like what hops are in this, and I looked at a variety of resources I always go to. I couldn't find exactly what hops are in it.
Okay.
You like to keep it a secret.
Yeah, but I mean, it's another.
It's like the sauce on a Big Mac.
You never know.
Yeah, it's a juicy double IPA or Imperial IPA, whatever you want to call it. So
it's good. I like it.
No, it's layered very well too.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have as much punch as a double usually has.
And it doesn't have much of an aftertaste. Like it doesn't hang like.
Yeah.
It's just you drink it. It's smooth, and like I said, that's why I drank a 4-pack so quickly.
Yep. For sure.
Maybe it's also because we just had a bunch of seltzers before this.
That is true.
That it's
This is
also
true.
kind of like,
This is much more
now
delicious.
it's kind of
Yeah.
So no, I definitely enjoy this.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, and today we're pairing it with Eminem's 2020 release, "Music to Be Murdered By."
Yes.
Great album. I liked it. I'm a big Eminem fan. Eminem was like the when I was in like middle school, he was the guy you couldn't listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You had to like sneak it, and I think was it Eminem Show? Or,
Yes.
I think was the one. Was that it? Yeah. So that came out 2002. Would have been when I was in like late elementary, like middle school. And that was kind of the big album that I started listening to him on. One of the first albums I listened to where it was just like, I was like, this isn't edited.
Yeah.
And I was like learning all sorts of new words, and I was like, this is awesome. But I started listening to that, and then listening to what he's done over the last few years, and then he came out with Revival and Recovery, and those were kind of really shit on. People didn't like them.
It's like the trilogy of Relapse, Recovery, and Revival.
Yeah. People kind of saw him as going soft, and I don't know, for Eminem as an artist in general is the kind of person who doesn't really give a shit about what other people say. He's going to put out what he feels, and that was kind of his, like we said, Recovery, Relapse, all that was what was happening to him at the time. And then he dropped this and the album before it, Kamikaze. He dropped kind of unannounced. They just kind of came out. And so unless you were like an Eminem person, like following him or like the stuff, you didn't really even know they came out. Kamikaze was good. I think Kamikaze had more bite to it because it was the first unannounced album he ever did, and it was after, was it Revival?
Yeah.
And everyone really hated that album. People did not like it.
I was not a huge fan of it myself.
And it wasn't great. And then he came out with this, which really kind of was the fuck you, here's my new album. You didn't even know I was making an album. And it actually made a lot of stabs at people who didn't like Revival. He kind of...
this one did.
No, the last
Kamikaze.
one. And then this one came out, and I feel like this one was a little bit more planned, than Kamikaze. I feel like Kamikaze was the response.
Yeah.
And then this here, which it
the
was.
title too. I mean, came in like a kamikaze.
Yeah. Which then this album to me seems more, like I said, planned, more organized, a little bit more produced well, because it was, he'd been planning to make it, even though he wasn't announcing it, he was making another album, in my opinion.
Now, real quick, Revival. I think I've only heard the Ed Sheeran song off of that. So I'm not a huge Eminem guy. I like him, but I don't know his discography as well. But what was the problem with Revival? Was it soft? Was it more mainstream? What
I think it was a little softer. When I was doing it, wasn't as angry Eminem as normally is. I mean, he had a song with Beyonce on it.
So it was almost kind of like...
Which actually a very good song.
I like that one.
So it was kind of like Recovery Part 2, because I know Recovery was a little more commercial, a little more mainstream.
But like his number one single was Walk on Water, that had... Beyonce.
Yeah.
Then his next single was River, which had Ed Sheeran.
Right.
It was almost like, I guess you could say it's a little more sellout-ish.
Yeah, he wasn't really himself. He wasn't kind of the wacky and zany kind of like you said, like the kind of fuck you attitude that he usually has. He was kind of stuck in like this very like angry staccato flow. The features like X Ambassadors on the track was not very good at all. He just wasn't really being himself.
Okay.
And I think personally, I think Kamikaze was better in comparison.
Yes.
But it felt like it was a bit more rushed because Revival was so bad. And I don't think he really wants to admit that.
Yeah.
But in comparison, I do agree.
I think
it was better. But it just felt rushed.
I think he just came out with the idea of like, people are shitting all over me, so fuck you, I'm going to show you what I can do.
Yeah.
And he put out this album, and it was a different album. It had a very different feel to it.
Well, I think part of that is that the album before that, Marshall Mathers LP2, was in 2013. So people waited 4 years for another album, and then he put out that, and it wasn't that good. So he was like, oh, I got to rush a new one for the next year. So, yeah.
Agreed.
I'm glad you guys kind of said it, because I almost see his discography as almost like seasons on a TV show. Like,
Okay.
Like for me, this is the first full Eminem album I've ever heard. This one we're talking about, Music to be Murdered by.
Okay.
So I've never heard a full album prior to this. So I feel like I should have listened to maybe Revival and Kamikaze and all this to really understand like where he is in his career.
Gotcha.
I'd say it was pretty enjoyable, but we'll get down the track list now. So
Premonition was the first song.
yes.
Kind of your standard Eminem opening. It had kind of a show feel to it. It had.
Yep.
He doesn't really open his albums like a song. He always opens them with like an intro.
Yeah.
He has a lot of skits involved in his stuff. It's kind of like his trademark in a sense.
Yeah, there's the woman getting like stabbed.
It kind of
intro.
fit the title.
I thought we could have done this as a good like Halloween album. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would have been
Think of
fun.
that.
Yeah, it's true.
But then boom, it comes in. It's got a great kind of beat. Really hits you hard. It was funny. It had a woman singing, but no feature.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that was. And I didn't look too deep into it, but most of his stuff had people featured. I mean, this album's featuring a ton of people. And I thought it was kind of interesting that there was no name for whoever that was singing, that female.
Yeah.
And then it was just a great short little rap. So you got everything you expected from Eminem in the first track.
Right.
You got his little his feature. You got his little introduction. Then you got the short and sweet rap that kind of just fit Eminem.
Yeah.
Had a great beat, and then boom, you were on to song number 2.
Well, so I loved the intro because he references his prior albums. He talks about Kamikaze. He talks about how Revival was a flop. He said that. And then that kind of reminded me of the song Not Afraid, which was on Recovery. And on that song, he mentioned his Relapse album was He said, so that's why I'm saying like his albums seem like kind of like seasons of a TV show. Like you really need to listen to everything to understand all the references. So I had to do kind of like a background kind of, research.
Yeah.
Why did he say that? Why did he call Revival a flop? Why did, on Recovery, why did he say Relapse was kind of But I feel like the way he rapped on this song on the intro, he kind of raps kind of like he's an underdog. And he's trying to find himself again in kind of the overall grand scheme of rap. Because I think rap is much different now than it was when he was in his prime.
Absolutely.
In fact, I know for a fact. So like he's trying to find his new, and I think we see that on a lot of the collaborations on this album. The people he has on it are like current.
Exactly, yeah. And I feel like there's a track that he does this on specifically, but on a fair bit of tracks here, he incorporates a lot more trap beats and like more hi-hat driven things, which it's not necessarily jarring, but it's not natural for him either. Because I feel like he's trying to pander to more of the current day audience, like the more current rap listeners, and that can be seen on like Godzilla because it has Juice WRLD on it. That was like the big single from this.
Yeah.
He brought a lot more of the trap kind of beats to it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of comparable. I wrote this in my notes to like 70s bands trying to go like 80s like synth pop almost, like Yes or something like that. Obviously not as jarring.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really fit his style of rapping.
I get that.
Because I feel like in the current day meta, there's more melodic rappers who can also sing on tracks. And I feel like the way he's kind of locked into this aggressive style of flow doesn't really fit the mainstream as well.
Actually, in my notes, I did mention, though, when you listen back to songs like, what was that one Mockingbird he did for Haley, his daughter? Like, back a while ago, and he mentions in it that he can't sing, and he sings on it. I did mention in my notes that he has gotten actually better when it comes to the singing portion of his music, because when he first started trying to do some of that, softer and a little bit more singing and melodic, he really wasn't great. But in his own right, he made it clear that he wasn't great in the lyrics he was singing. But I think on this album, the couple times that he does sing, because he does it a little bit more, I thought he did a much better job at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought it was really cool with Unaccommodating being the first full song on the track. And so essentially it's the opening track in my eyes as a song. He doesn't come in for a minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. To me, that just says he's not full of himself in that way. Like, he knows he's a great rapper, and he knows he can tell anyone to go fuck themselves. But then your first, like, full song on the album, you're going to throw Young M.A. I don't even know who Young M.A. is.
Young Ma.
Is it Young Ma?
Yeah.
Well, then why is it M.A.?
I don't know. That's just how it's pronounced.
Okay, that makes no sense to me.
Anyway.
But you know, this guy's got a minute and 15 seconds of the first essential song of this album.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That was just like a cool, selfless thing. Like, to kind of, in my opinion, like to like look at how he's opening an album.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This song features a reference to the infamous Ariana Grande incident.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where there was it was a shooting at
Yes.
one of her concerts, which it kind of works well with us. We just talked about Ariana Grande in our last episode,
Yes.
and now this.
Mm-hmm.
And Chelsea mentioned the shooting.
Yes, yeah. So there you go. Eminem kind of caught a lot of flack for this because he almost mentioned it in like a lighthearted way.
Yeah.
But
Eminem caught flack.
yeah,
Oh my
right.
God.
Yeah.
What a surprise.
Yeah, right.
He's done that his entire career.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why anyone's shocked now.
Yeah.
Right.
People are babies.
So, right, it's Eminem. I mean, he did it in an artistic way. I don't know if it was quite as serious as people made it out to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of the feature, personally.
Okay.
I feel like the flow and the lyrics just felt a little off for me. But Eminem's verse on it was so much better in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
He also mentions the beef that he had with Machine Gun Kelly
Yes.
on it as well. With
their
Kill Shot.
Kill Shot was his song, and then Rap Devil was Machine Gun Kelly's.
I've
Actually, just a couple days ago, I actually listened to both of those one after the other because I'd heard about the beef, but I hadn't actually listened to the two songs, especially one after the other.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Sorry, I'm sorry, Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah,
why do you
even try?
He lost.
You just,
Right, but
it's funny. So in future episode, we're gonna do Machine Gun Kelly's newest album.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a buddy at work, and he literally said the reason Machine Gun Kelly put out that album is because Eminem ruined his rap career, which made me laugh, but it makes sense.
it does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
That's funny.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, but I thought the transition between the ending of Unaccommodating into You Gonna Learn was really good.
Yeah.
Kind of that gunshot into the slower
Yeah.
kind of transition. That was
Yeah,
really
You
good.
Gonna Learn wasn't bad. Again, another feature, third song.
Mm-hmm.
Royce the 5'9", who has a lot of history with Eminem.
Yeah.
Royce the 5'9" and Eminem started a band called Bad Meets Evil.
Yes.
They actually started in '98, so that's obviously pretty early in Eminem's career. They started in '98. They didn't put out their first album until 2011, and that had that big song "Lighters" with Bruno Mars. Great album, absolutely great album. I love that album.
Yeah.
But yeah, the two of them were a rap duo, Bad Meets Evil. Then they had some kind of falling out. They broke up, and then again, prior to that, they had only put out a couple of like singles. They hadn't put out an actual album. And then in 2011, they put out their album "Hell," the sequel, or something like that. So, Royce talks about Royce the 5'9" a lot. Royce the 5'9" I think on this album 3 or 4 times. He features on like 3 or 4 tracks.
Yeah.
So obviously they're pretty close. Thought it was an okay song. Wasn't a huge fan of the hook, in it, but
Yeah.
thought it was okay.
Yeah, there was a section about halfway through he like changes rapping or rhythm. I love how he raps.
Yeah,
Eminem.
agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of got that woozier beat.
Yeah,
Kind of
exactly.
slowed down. It was a bit more like a vibey for me.
Yeah, for sure. So we didn't say, but this is his 11th album.
Okay.
Jeez.
20 tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a long album.
it
It
is.
could have been shorter.
I wrote like it's more like 17 because there's a lot of like spoken word or
Yeah.
like interludes, intros,
It's
outros.
true.
So it's more like 17 tracks, and this
Still
next,
could have been a little shorter, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure, and yeah, we'll get to that. But this next track is one of those. It's called Alfred Interlude.
Yeah.
So this album is based off of Alfred Hitchcock's spoken word album by the same name, and this features some voice recordings of him.
Alfred
Yes.
Hitchcock,
Yeah, for me, I almost wish this was the intro to the album.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
direct. The album's a direct reference to him.
Yeah.
I almost wish they fused. I love Premonition. I love the rap on that. I wish that
Yeah.
was like a full song, but I wish they almost fused what he did with.
This could have led into the murdering, could have led into the rap, could have led into the album.
Because the Alfred Interlude, it comes after the first two full songs on the album.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, were we starting over again? So I kind of wish they fused this with Premonition and then started the album. But I'm sure he had some reasoning for it.
Yeah.
But then we got Those Kind of Nights.
Yep.
Which I thought it was a really fun song.
It was a fun song. I think
it reminded me of old Eminem, and he referenced his D12 days, which another group he was in, and I thought that was really cool. Meeting a girl at a bar, and again here, Joe, listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm really trying a new year.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I'm
Joe.
really trying.
I find it hilarious. Of all people, it's always Eminem and Ed Sheeran. And I get it. I know Ed Sheeran, he does some of the rapish kind of stuff, and he, I think he looks up to Eminem, highly in the rap kind of world. But it's such an odd combination. But it works. It does work. But it's a very odd combination, and it's is this is definitely their second, third maybe song that they've done together.
Yeah, I know at least second.
And it's really the only song that has a legit sung chorus.
Yeah.
All his other ones he does a little bit of singing, but this is this is a very different song from the entire album, in my opinion.
For me, there's two Eminems that come to mind. There's the serious Eminem, and then there's the funny Eminem.
Yeah.
Yes.
The wacky kind of.
Yes.
And this brings me back to that funny
Slim
kind of
Shady.
some shady LP days.
Yeah.
That brings me back to that. Which
I
is
like in the
cool.
song he mentions to the girl, and she says she's bi.
Yeah.
And he's checking out the girl, so am I.
So am I,
And
yeah,
there was a lot of cool
Very
little
clever. Yeah. It's just well written.
Yeah, his lyrics.
He's always had really good lyrics.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, for most of the case. I like the Ohio town references he makes in the beginning. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I love his white girl voice in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
He
I listen to your songs, mow my lawn. Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. And then we got In Too Deep, next song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't stand out to me.
It was a very personal song. I feel had a lot of emotion to it. It was just
very processed.
whether it was a situation he was in or someone he knew or whatever. I thought there was just from that point of view.
Yeah.
Chorus wasn't great.
Yeah, it was very processed vocals on the hook. The beat wasn't very compelling for me. I thought it was really
a very
funny.
slow song.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in comparison to the last one. I thought the Long John Silver bar was funny because we selfish.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was like,
I
all
thought
right, come on.
I thought the best part of the song was the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
The
Usually
beat was
are.
kind of the beat was kind of the hook wasn't great.
Yeah.
But lyrically, content wise, he did a really good job of describing a situation and from front to back.
Mm-hmm.
So, which then leads into the second single, surprisingly.
Godzilla.
He's always got those insane raps, and how they're so clear, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
There were some parts in this one though where you could tell, you can even tell with Rap God where he rapped a section and then rapped a different section and then they put them together.
Yeah.
So he obviously didn't rap the entire thing in one breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with this song a little bit.
Do you think he did that in the third verse? They edited it?
I don't know.
Because I'm reading here, he broke the world record.
Did he? Oh, so maybe not.
So this one, he on that third verse, he broke the record for the fastest verse on a charted track, rapping 10.65 syllables per second. And he broke his previous own record.
Was that from Rap God?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what other song he has besides Rap God that raps that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good song.
Yeah, I feel like it was interesting to see this song chart so high because I feel like fast raps aren't really what kind of get onto the charts nowadays.
Yeah.
And so I feel like
I'll tell
a
you
lot
why
of
it made charted.
Yeah.
Well,
the
you
feature.
finish your thought. Yeah, the feature.
that's why. Yeah,
Juice
that's,
WRLD. Yeah.
Juice WRLD is still getting a lot of plays even far after his death, which is you know.
Well, this was his first posthumous track.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I love the bass and the synth. I thought it had a really good transition into Juice WRLD's part. I thought it had a catchy chorus. Juice WRLD's not bad. I thought it fit. It was a good song.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of stretched out his feature a bit longer just because they didn't have a lot to work with, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's posthumous, so... but they got what they could out of it. Obviously, the end goes really fast, and he kind of ends it by being like, "Man, stop!" He kind of does.
Yeah, yeah.
He did that on this feature on the Logic track too.
Oh, okay.
What's that called? I don't remember. But yeah, no, it was a solid track. I could see why it charted so high.
Yeah,
it's a quintessential Eminem track for me. Yeah, there it is.
We didn't
New
throw
Year,
that out.
same word.
Last episode, I don't think we said it once.
No, I know that's the first.
Yeah.
Then we get into the song "Darkness." This is obviously a heavy song.
I love this song.
This is a fantastic song. It's a must listen. It's Eminem's interpretation of the point of view of the shooter from the Las Vegas shooting at a Jason Aldean concert. It's an incredible way to write a song.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was really symbolic and cool how they use Sound of Silence as the sample.
Okay, so I wasn't wrong.
No, it's Sound of Silence.
So I heard
that's
it.
the sample.
3 minutes and 15 seconds. The piano rhythm changed.
Oh yeah.
To the piano part.
Yep.
Yes.
So it samples Sound of Silence, but I thought it was really symbolic because it talks about how he's feeling, but no one's listening to him. No one's hearing him. So you get that Sound of Silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. The song's called Darkness.
Yeah.
He's basically saying he's all by himself and he can't figure it out and he's fucking going crazy and he doesn't know what to do. And then he's talking about like with the concert and this is all. I thought it was sold out and well, it's good that not everyone's here because I can't kill everybody. I should only kill. Like he's literally like
he's explaining the shooter's plan.
Yeah,
it was unreal.
And he's explaining it from the point of view of him like talking to himself about like I'm gonna kill people, but I really can't kill that many people. Like, that's not right.
And should I do it now? It's the opening act.
Yeah,
not a lot of people are here.
For me, there was just so much going on that I was just like, holy shit.
I thought I didn't even realize it was a metaphor for that.
Yeah.
I assumed it was just a metaphor for Eminem, like, at a show, like, oh, there's not that many people, I should wait. And, like, the guns were kind of, like, a metaphor for his lyrics, but then you kind of get into the track. It's actually like gets like a weird dark twist at the end, and then they use all those like news clips at the very end,
and then the news clippings end.
They fade
back in.
Yeah, but then it's for other issues. Yeah. It's not just for that one.
Starts talking about school shootings.
Right. It's to symbolize how many shootings there are in all different areas: schools, movie theaters, churches, food markets. There was one. And I just think the track overall is just very powerful. And I guess I can understand why it was the first single.
Yeah. I mean, it's just odd that it's the first single because it's a slower song and it's such a deep song and it's in a sense controversial. I mean, and it's controversial not from Eminem's standpoint. Like Eminem's standpoint of controversial is like calling people out and making fun of them and calling them names and like whatever. And this is controversial from the standpoint of like he's talking about a super heavy topic.
Oh yeah,
and he's talking about it from a very logical standpoint
and from the shooter's point of view.
Which not the crowd, not the news. He's talking from the person who's having the issue.
Right. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a very interesting track. And then transitioning to the next track, Leaving Heaven, featuring Skyler Gray.
Which is kind of a cool, whether he did it on purpose or not, kind of a cool title to go into next.
Yeah.
After talking about darkness and the shooter and all this stuff, and then Leaving Heaven. I actually had to look up who Skyler Gray was.
Yeah, she was on Revival, I think, as well.
They've done a few collabs prior.
From what I understand, she's just like a solo artist, kind of like a studio person. Yeah. Doesn't really have anything that you would really recognize as a major hit. But she's got a great voice.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I thought it was. I like the kind of grandness to the track as well. I could see it as like a track you could see in like a Michael Bay movie or something. It's like the opening track. It was very interesting to be in that setting.
Michael Bay.
I don't know, or something like that.
No, I got you on that.
Because he's such like a typecasted director. So like that's funny. That is good.
No, I thought that was a great song. I mean, it wasn't anything super special.
Yeah.
But it was just a good song all around.
Yeah. Same thing with the next one, Yeah, well, it features Black Thought from The Roots, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And Q-Tip.
Q-Tip was on there too.
Royce the 5'9" again.
Yep.
I don't know, the that to me was just corny.
That's like funny Eminem to me.
Yeah.
I was like laughing through this song.
I guess it came after so many heavy, serious songs.
Yeah.
That then I heard this song. This is like I'll be honest, this is my skip song.
Yeah.
If there's any song on an album I'm going to skip for this one, it's this song.
It is 20 tracks, so there are a few of those.
There's a few skip songs.
This, though, is my straight up, like, skip, and even more so because of the next song.
Yeah.
I'm just like, get this one over with. I need to move on.
Yeah, right.
Wasn't really.
I kind of saw the song as more of like a mood lightener, which with the next song afterwards, you kind of need it.
Yeah,
because
that makes sense.
If you have 3 serious songs in a row, it kind of changes the narrative of the album a little bit.
This is true. Yeah, you're going from darkness to
leaving heaven
to then
yeah,
I get you. That
with a bunch of like rappers that are featured
just kind
on
of
it.
featuring each other.
2 of them are
It almost
passed
wasn't.
away.
It wasn't even like it was almost like not even an Eminem song.
Yeah,
it was almost like he was featured on it.
pretty much.
True.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, it's kind of like You Gonna Learn.
Yep.
With Roy saying white gold.
Yep.
So yeah, with Stepdad. This is what I was talking to Mike about before. The intro is Danny McBride on the featured artist. He is the stepdad.
Yeah. If you listen to it, it actually you notice that it's him. Like I never would have thought of it though.
If you hear him, just on the intro, yeah.
Yep. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's similar
Holy
style.
Shit, it is him.
Yeah.
Wow, Danny.
Kenny fucking Powers.
Yep. Oh wow.
Yeah. No, I feel like he's done a song like this before though, where he has.
He talks about like his stepdad a lot.
The song "Stepdad" itself, love it. As soon as the beginning, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm rocking, I'm bobbing to it.
Quintessential.
Yes. Well,
it's your angry Eminem.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah,
to go back from like a childhood point of view.
Yeah, and I liked in the chorus said like tonight I'm saying bye bye stepdad.
Yeah.
Like I think pretty deep as a young kid because he raps as a second grader than fifth grader.
My favorite line in the entire song is when he says that the stepdad has so many battery charges it's like lithium ion.
Oh yeah,
I remember that one
because it's just who thinks of that shit? How do you make that your connection?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just boggles my mind.
He's a great pen game.
Yeah, this is a great
loved it
song, and it was a clear story from beginning to end. He did a great job like laying out a timeline.
Yeah,
awesome song.
Yeah,
this is where, in my opinion, the album starts to slide.
Absolutely,
like this song just was like the pinnacle in my opinion, and then everything after this is just kind of like okay,
it's Eminem.
Not bad. I mean, I definitely continue to listen.
Yeah, because what number track is this one?
So now we're going on to 13.
Yeah, I feel like if you end an album here, it's a pretty good album.
Yeah.
But 20 tracks, man, that's a lot.
I know.
Then you went Never Love Again. The chorus wasn't bad. It was a slower chorus, had a slower rap to it. This is where I marked his singing voice improved.
Yeah.
This is where I kind of realized, like, vocally, like, he can sing and rap. He's not just a rapper.
We did that on Stepdad, too.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of that is pretty processed in post. So I feel like there's a fair bit of auto-tune on it, too.
Yeah.
But, he mentioned he's not a great singer anyway. So.
No, but then this is where I just see that he's improved.
He's
definitely gotten better over time with that.
Yeah. This song, Never Love Again, I almost felt it could belong on Food. By End of Doom.
Hold on, I gotta.
The kind of the samples and the just the overall sound of the song. It kind of fit that album to me.
Okay,
makes sense.
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know.
A little bit.
Was not a big fan of the next song.
Little Engine.
Yeah.
Had another Alfred Hitchcock sample in the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah, but just the it just sounded.
The engine go.
Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't really. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't really catch me. I don't.
He doesn't really have. I don't like the very angry vibrato or staccato flow that he has. It just doesn't flow well.
I like it for some of his songs. It did not work for this one.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of like that rapping style in the chorus. I'm a big fan of like rhythmic things, and he always does that. But yeah, overall, this was just another song that was kind of interesting.
I said like the synth was like almost annoying in the background.
Yeah.
Like it was, I don't know. It just kind of got to me after a while. And then we came in with Lock It Up.
Yes, with
which was like a ballad.
Yes, with Anderson .Paak.
Yes.
I love Anderson .Paak.
Yeah.
No idea who he
Eventually
is,
we'll do an album with him.
Awesome.
Because
Ooh,
he has some really good.
Well, I even wrote that I really liked his voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought this was a really good song with really good chords. Like, this is one of the ones that you could have moved from 16 up into the earlier half.
7 or 8.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I love both their voices. I don't think they necessarily had the best chemistry on the track together, with kind of Eminem's like aggressive flows and Anderson .Paak's kind of like more calming vocals.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the track. They both kind of shined in their own respective ways.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I liked it too. I liked the slower groove. I liked his rapping patterns right from the start. It's a good driving song too.
Yeah,
Right?
it was.
It kind of crank it up a little bit, roll your windows down.
Yeah.
Yeah, good song. This was one of my favorites on the album.
Not to change topics at all. Does anyone got any more beer in their can?
No, I finished it because I gave the rest of my beer
Yes.
to
There you go.
our next gift.
the guest on our next episode. He's enjoying it right now.
This is a great beer, and I didn't get a full.
I think he's
I actually
napping.
really enjoyed this
Oh,
beer.
thanks.
I loved the intro to Farewell, the lyrics, because they were just raw and blunt and just boom, just came right out. I think he said like, well, I guess he came in with like something
Slut
about
at birth?
sucking dick,
Yeah.
slut at birth, and then he used the C word,
Yeah.
which
Don't.
I'm just
don't.
I'm not gonna say it, but he used the
Do not say
I
it.
don't know. It was just
Don't say the word cunt on my podcast.
He said it.
See you next Tuesday.
Producer.
But no, that was classic Eminem.
Yeah.
No holds barred, no filter, just bam, he came in. And then he kind of went from rap to singing back to rap. Like he changed, in a verse, he would change his style. I just thought it was really, really cool. I love the chorus to it. This was just a really good song. Again, take it from 17, move it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Knock out 5 tracks, make
Yeah.
it a 15-track album.
Easily, yeah.
And bump this one up.
Yeah.
Much
Well,
better.
well, rap albums tend to be a little longer anyway, like more tracks.
Yeah, I'd say it depends.
Yeah.
I'd say for Eminem, definitely.
Yeah.
It could be.
Oh yeah, all his,
longer
because
ones.
like you said, the skits and everything else he does, they're much longer.
Right.
And with No Regrets featuring Don Toliver. I actually, very similar to Anderson .Paak, I like Don Toliver's voice a lot. But I feel like he was more reserved on this track than he could have.
This, to me, I was actually kind of surprised it wasn't a single. It had a very, like, radio feel.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
it kind of sounded like the song he had to make to...
Yeah.
It had a cool like hip hop vibe.
Yeah,
rather than,
and but
Yeah.
it wasn't, which
Right.
was kind of shocked me that it's like, why would he make this song if he wasn't going to try to, send it out to everybody? 'Cause
Yeah.
it just doesn't, necessarily fit his style,
Right.
And Don Toliver, I think, is on a track that's like in the top 5 right now. I think it's called Lemonade, which is a really good track. Listen to that. But yeah, they just didn't shine as well as they could have together on that track for me.
Yeah.
So
And then I Will. I mean, it was an okay song.
Yeah. This
I thought
was
it had
one of
good
those-
features.
another Royce feature.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
Royce feature. I thought the features were good. Lyrically, if you were listening to the lyrics as it goes through, it made sense as the ending, and it flowed right into the Alfred Hitchcock outro.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, it made a lot of sense. Do I think it was like a great, oh my god, an ending song? I thought it was kind of blah, but lyrically it made sense for the ending.
Yeah, I feel like the second half of this album was definitely not as strong as the first half.
Agreed.
But there were a couple like standout songs
Yeah.
that should have been.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, not should have been, but they kept the second half interesting.
Yeah, they had the potential. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then my favorite, I think, line at the very end was the whole Alfred Hitchcock. If you haven't been murdered yet, better luck next time.
Yeah.
like I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that.
So
and
I
if
think-
you have,
Yeah.
it's
Good night wherever you are.
Good night wherever you
Yeah.
are. I
Yeah.
loved that.
So I
Couldn't
think
have ended any better.
I think that's how he ended his album.
Yes, exactly.
A lot of that kind of ties into the concept of the album as well, too.
Yeah, exactly. So when it comes to the Alfred Hitchcock stuff, I thought that was perfect.
Yeah.
Like the way,
Agreed.
the lines he took and everything.
Yeah.
And that to me was just a great ending.
Exactly.
I absolutely loved just those lines. I thought were hilarious, but like had some meaning to them.
Yep.
Cool.
So I just feel overall, I've always been a fan of his rhythmic rapping pattern and how he raps and his references, and this album just felt like a breath of fresh air for him. It seemed like He's been trying to find his place since Recovery, which was kind of a commercial album, and all these other different rap artists and rap styles have come out. He's been trying to find his place. He feels like he's been being pulled in all different directions. Like his fans expect him to do one thing, the record companies expect him to do one thing. He wants to do certain things, and this album just almost felt like it came to a head, and it's like, you know what? Fuck everyone. This is what I want to do right now.
It was kind of funny. So when I was at the package store getting beer for our podcast, I was talking to one of the workers there who's actually, every time I walk in, the first thing he says is, what beer are you looking for and what albums to go with? Like, because he knows why I'm there. Yeah. So I came in and I told him I was looking for a beer, but I was telling him we were doing an Eminem album. And it was funny. He said he was 29, so he's our age. And he was mentioning how, you know, again, when you're a kid, you kind of had to sneak the Eminem album because of all the swears and everything and the concepts. And one of the points he put across was like, he's not sure why Eminem's still rapping. As good as he is, and I think, again, it comes from like the Revival and all of that, not being the Recovery, not being the greatest albums. It's almost like he actually said, it sounds like Eminem's rapping just to prove he can still rap.
To like save himself.
Like to save himself. Yeah. And I think this album puts that notion like to rest. I think this album literally just says he can still do what he's doing. He's got some more modern stuff. I mean, if he keeps making songs like Darkness, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's going to kill it. Yeah. Like, just like he already is.
Favorite tracks?
Let's do it.
Yeah. I will start with my favorite track. Yeah. I like Darkness a lot.
Yeah.
Granted, it's going to be with, like, a lot of heavier themes and everything, but I like how he kind of tied that in and made it also fit the narrative of the album as well, too.
Yeah.
You know, the lyrics were definitely the shining point of the entire thing. The beat wasn't really as good, but I didn't even know that the sample was of The Sound of Silence until you guys mentioned that. So that
powerful.
That kind of adds a bit more to it. So yeah, that was my favorite.
It's just a genius. It was like an expert. It's like almost like a masterclass of like, here's how to write a song.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah, my top track was Stepdad. Fucking love this song. Great song. I think I did add this to my.
Wow.
Playlist. Yeah. Great song. Yeah.
Darkness. Again, I can't.
Yep.
There's not one piece of it missing. From the lyrics, to the concept, to the symbolism, to the sample, to like the touch upon mental illness, to the touch upon the actual current event that happened. Then you touch upon school shootings and everything else. I mean, he literally took everything you could possibly think of that fit, put it into one track, and in my opinion, did it perfect.
Yeah,
definitely.
So Darkness is hands down my number one.
For sure. How about bottom track? My bottom track was In Too Deep. This song was just one of those few that was just kind of forgettable. Yeah. You know, so this one, this is a skip for me.
There were a couple of them. Yeah, Yeah, Yeah was for me. I mean, I understand the concept. It was going from two really deep tracks to that so that you can then go into Stepdad.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a break in that seriousness. But I don't know. It was kind of corny. I really didn't like the yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know. It really just didn't settle well with me.
Yeah.
I went with a Little Engine.
I can see that too. That was a close second for me.
Yeah. It was another one of those tracks where he tries to incorporate a lot of trap styles that don't really fit him very well. And again, like that little engine go, just didn't fit
and rhythmically, he's a great rapper.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the instrumentals.
Kind of tried too hard.
Yeah. The production on it wasn't up to snuff.
Yeah. My sleeper was Stepdad. I don't know. It was just a really strange concept to turn into such a good fucking song.
Yeah,
like he absolutely killed that song.
Absolutely.
And just the raps in it and the beat, and if it wasn't about murdering your stepdad, it probably would have been a single.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically.
Yeah, the way it sounded.
So yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
So my sleeper was You Go and Learn with Royce the 5'9" and White Gold. I liked the slower, kind of woozier beat. The transition from Unaccommodating was really solid. The real drums they used instead of the drum machine. I think Royce's verse on it was really solid with the political messaging that I mess with. Eminem also kind of dialed back his more aggressive flow and kind of was more reserved, which I think kind of suits him better, especially for this kind of track.
Yep.
You know, that woozier beat was really nice. It was definitely a solid track, too.
So, yeah. My dark horse was Lock It Up.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, I like the slower groove, and it was almost like a hip hop sound to me. I enjoyed this a lot. Good driving song, like I said earlier, for sure.
So,
let's rate it.
4.
Really?
4 bops. I
Wow.
love this album. I probably listened to this album 10, 15 times. And before the podcast, I listened probably 4 times just for the podcast. But I had been, since the day it came out, I've just been listening to this album like pretty repetitively. I know it's got some songs that kind of could be thrown away. It could be a little bit shorter, which is why it doesn't get like a 4.5 out of me. You guys know I don't really give out 5s.
Never, ever yet.
For a 4, I think it was a great. I like it better than Kamikaze. It's one of the better albums he's put out,
Really?
Especially as of late.
Okay. I, on the other hand, was not as big a fan. I gave it a 2 out of 5 bops for me.
Wow.
It was just 20 tracks is a bit long for me. I'm a bit biased just because of the recent shifts in the rap mainstream kind of go towards melodic style more than the angry aggressive style. But I enjoy Eminem's like older previous material more. I thought there were some quality tracks on it. Obviously, like I said before, there definitely are some high points in the album, but you get to that second half, there's not really a lot of content that makes you want to finish the rest of the album.
Agreed.
And it was kind of a struggle for me to get all the way through this. So I'm sitting around a 2 for me.
Yeah. So I'm somewhere in the middle of you guys. I gave it a 3.5. For all the same reasons. I thought it was really long. Some of the non-song tracks were maybe unnecessary, but again, a lot of them fit into the theme of the album, so I get it. But some of the actual songs are kind of forgettable. Like, there's too many forgettable songs on here for me. But, there's no denying Eminem's, like, legend status. And I just think this is another piece to his, overall catalog that is going to speak for generations to come. So I'm at a 3.5. Give him 3.5.
Sure.
Yep.
All right, Joe, what do you got for the beer?
The beer, 𝛾𝛾𝛾, Stubborn Beauty.
Jeez.
So, okay, I'm struggling on this one because I gave 𝙈𝙪𝙧𝙙𝙬𝙧, our previous double IPA, a 4. I like this one much better.
Ooh.
So I wish I almost gave 𝙤𝙬𝙧 a 3.5, which I listened back to the episode and I almost did, but I gave it a 4 because of the story about Gandhi Bot and everything.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm giving this a 4.5. 4.5. This is a fantastic beer, and as a double IPA, it doesn't really feel like that, although you feel it. The color's great. Stubborn Beauty, check out their beers. They have great beers. This is a 4.5 for Joe.
Yeah, I'm going to 4. Solid double IPA. It's smooth. You can drink more than one of them. Definitely feel it, but you don't it's not like you're drinking something super heavy. It goes down really nice, so I'm giving it a 4.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, Mike. I'm also giving it a 4.
Nice.
We really enjoyed this beer.
Awesome.
Wow.
It's very smooth. I like the way that it's blended.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a double, really.
Yeah.
The way that it kind of just goes down very easily. Definitely enjoyed this. Definitely will buy it again.
We're going to have to go back to the books here, but this might be our highest rated beer.
There's a couple up
As a
there.
whole,
4.5?
Yeah.
I think so.
Somewhere.
I think so. Cool. All right.
Let's do it.
So let's shout out who we talked about here. So Stubborn Beauty, their Instagram is Stubborn Beauty Brewing, and then check out their website. Go to the tap room, order some beer. Be sure to support them. Thank you, Stubborn Beauty. Good beer.
Nice. And Eminem, I'm sure you can find him on social media.
The candy?
It's not Eminem.
It's at Eminem.
EMI.
Yeah, no, not M
Eminem.
ampersand N.
Yeah.
No, not that.
Yeah.
Different. Marshall.
Although I'm not digging.
We're on a first name basis.
Marshall.
Yeah,
remember?
Marshall. Yeah, from earlier.
M.
I'm not digging Eminem with the beard.
No?
I'm not digging it.
It's interesting.
So there's
God.
bleached blonde Eminem.
There it
Then
is.
there's dark hair Eminem.
No.
Then there's dark hair with beard.
Yeah.
Not digging the beard.
Yeah,
Eminem.
Grandpa
Yeah.
M.
Yeah. But hey, whatever. He's probably gonna add us. And
All right, guys.
so next episode,
Woo.
I'm really excited for this one.
Joseph!
Number 17. Yeah, we're gonna have another guest.
We gotta
next
wake him up.
episode. We gotta wake him up. He's napping in the corner, hibernation.
Because of our poor time management.
Oh yeah, right. So this was my album, and I stumbled across this album late last year. It's Tickets to My Downfall by Machine Gun Kelly. We're fucking doing it.
Yep.
Wow.
Super
Right after
hyped.
Eminem. Woo.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how convenient.
I know, right? Because of their
Very,
beef.
very beefy.
But if you are listening along at home, at home,
in the old folks' home. Start over.
I did choose the sold out deluxe version, so we will be talking a little bit about
Couple extra
the
tracks.
bonus tracks on there. So if you want to give that a listen.
And then I went with Pause and Reflect by Kent Falls, local Kent, Connecticut, right on the New York border.
Cool.
So this was the second time we tried to get Leinenkugel Snowdrift, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're not having it this year. That's
Goddamn.
what the guy at the package store told
Yeah,
me. So,
because COVID.
yeah, maybe. Who
What
knows?
kind of beer is it?
But this is a porter.
Oh,
It's actually
oh, wow.
very good.
It's our first
Very
porter?
good, a little
First porter.
darker,
Okay.
smokier. We'll talk about it next episode.
Good, excellent. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to listen to the upcoming album. Get the upcoming beer if you want to follow along with us. But until then, Hops and Bops podcast on Instagram and Facebook, streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. For Mike and Tom, I'm Joe. We'll see you next time.
Peace.